the smile. You need the smile.
Yes, we're live now. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, Prince Francis Chilaka. I'm sorry, I had to bamboozle you once more, but I'm
No
sure that
problem.
gradually we'll do this. Well, welcome. So we just want to give Nigerians a bit of update and retrospect for the things that will happen within the week and maybe what to expect this week. In the news this evening, the news has it that the governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, don't agree to implement the judgment of the Supreme Court, one of which now to do local government election again. I don't know how it will be for the other lawmakers to return, especially the Amihuli-led lawmakers to return to office, pending on when the courts go hear the case where they will go, speak on their legitimacy based on their defection. So we don't know as it will be, but there's a lot of tension in River State right now. There's some apprehension from different quarters. Nobody actually knows what to expect in River State. The governor has said today that we are all aware that as a law-abiding citizen, because they keep to the rule, that they would ensure that they they obey the court sitting. But also today there was something someone said that I thought that we should bring to the fore. So, a bishop of the Methodist Church, a church in Nigeria, Bishop Sunday Nduko Onoha, has expressed worry about the current political imbroglio, as people would call it, imbroglio in River State, that it can spread to other states and consume Nigeria's democracy. I don't know why River State could be so significant that this issue can now spread to other states and indeed consume Nigeria's democracy. We'll be looking at that. We'll be looking at the updates in Natasha Akpoti's case, her husband's statement, Akpabio's wife's statement, and subsequent suing Natasha for 250 billion naira. We would also look at the people who have gathered support to support Akpabio, including the protest of Akwa Ibom women demanding that Natasha apologizes to Akpabio. Would also look at what to expect in that case, especially as people like Bukola Saraki has said that the case, especially her case before the Ethics and Privileges Committee of the Senate, should be made public. The hearing should be made public. We would also look at other issues like the Hisba banning schools or shutting down schools in Katsina State, Bauchi State. Would like to look at that issue. And we may also look at your NLC. By the way, they threatened again to go on strike should the federal government increase the electricity tariff again, especially for Band B and C users. And I thought we should also bring this to the fore because this happened over the weekend where there's a southeast chieftain, former APC governorship aspirant in Anambra State, is stating that the Igbos are still at war. And that is the reason why everything about the Nigerian state is working deliberately against the Igbo people. These and more issues we'll look at. But let's start with the more burning issue, the River State case. The governor has accepted to heed to the Supreme Court judgment. Are you surprised?
Well, I would say mixed feelings, but I think he's doing the right thing. He's doing the right thing because I'll tell you this: whether Nigerians like it or not, if Fubara has refused to obey the Supreme Court, I will not be shocked or surprised if a state of emergency is declared in Rivers State, and that is what he's doing everything to avoid. Because what you will now hear is that there's lawlessness and that the governor in the state is not listening to anybody, is not ready to follow the dictates of the Supreme Court. But, I'm asking my questions. And it's not only Fubara that conducted election during that period. It was a period where everybody was rushing to ensure that they beat the timeline.
I
But
think your
let's see
governor
what
also
happens.
contested election. I think Uzodinma, maybe, I don't know. Uzodinma, some others also contested.
Yeah,
So,
quite a number of states, quite a
yeah,
number
so
of state governors.
why is
You know, so let's see how it pans out. But it's a good one. He's following that. But now my worry is the fact that the Supreme Court has asked all the um, members of the State House of Assembly to resume, and I know that usually it is the governor that will call them. That's the way it works. So I am asking myself: is the governor ready to call for the State House of Assembly to sit again? And I really don't know why the Supreme Court is also bent with their rulings to kind of create some form of disaffection in Rivers State.
You think the
Because
Supreme Court if you think the Supreme Court is deliberately creating disaffection in Rivers State?
I think the Supreme Court is getting too politicized. Because if you follow the wordings, the sayings, the actions, the body language of Wike, he kept referring everybody to obey the court order. And then, it's more like, okay, it's more like, okay, you people think you're smart. Let me wait for them at this end. So everybody's beginning to ask questions. This whole democracy we're practicing today, when did our democracy system become such that when you raise an eyebrow, you are told to go to court? So it's becoming a bigger problem. It's becoming an issue. And I would say this, that the political class in Nigeria, they don't ever learn. They don't ever learn. This is what led to the truncating of the civilian rule before now. But we seem to be, towing the same line. We seem to be doing the same thing. And you want to do the same thing over and over, and you're expecting a different result, it doesn't work out. So we need to look at our democratic journey and ask ourselves, are we ready for the courts to always determine who the leader should be? Are we ready when the people have voted, or when INEC claims that the people have voted? Are we willing and ready to allow the courts, made up most times of 5 judges, to decide the fate of 200 million Nigerians? So we need to know that something needs to be done, and it is only the National Assembly that can do that. But then, what do I say? Most of the people in the National Assembly are beneficiaries of the sycophancy and the madness going on in our political history.
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to get it clear. Are you saying that Wike, of course, preempted the court by insistently or consistently saying that Fubara should obey the court order when the rulings, judgments are out?
Well,
so then
I'm not the only one. I think that's the thinking of a lot of Nigerians. It's just like what happened when the election result for the presidential election was being collected in 2023, and when some opposition party members staged a walkout, and when they argued, the INEC chairman said, "Go to court." And we all know how the court process ended. So when people tell you go to court, you need to think twice before you accept that challenge, because you may not end up winning the challenge.
Okay, so looking at the options available for Siminalayi Fubara right now, the governor of Rivers State, one of his greatest fears is the fear of impeachment. And of course, we know that the 27 lawmakers may likely impeach him as soon as possible. As a matter of fact, there are feelers that this impeachment may happen within the next couple of days, whether he likes it or not. And that's going to be a lot of problems. This will mean that everybody who's loyal to him, the remaining 3 lawmakers, who, by the way, are still lawmakers, but AHA, his chief of staff, who defected because he was going to be his chief of staff, would also be in trouble. His political career may likely end. So do you see these 3 lawmakers, 27 lawmakers impeaching Fubara, especially because Wike, reacting to the Supreme Court judgment, had mentioned that the Supreme Court has ended impunity in Rivers State? I think Supreme Court don't end impunity for Rivers State. It can't say how person will use only 3 to 4 lawmakers pass a bill. Where be say the whole state they use. Say that's an impeachable offense. Do you think Wike may have been hinting to the impeachment of Siminalayi Fubara?
Well, I will say this, that if these 27 lawmakers, upon sitting, initiate the process of impeaching the governor, they will create serious problem in Rivers State. They will plunge Rivers State into a situation worse than what we're having in the entire Southeast now. You can take that to the bank. Yes. So I think that what they should do is not about impeachment. If they go with impeachment, then it also means that the Supreme Court, who said that his fear of impeachment has led him to do certain things which he shouldn't do, then it means that the man has been right from day one. And then what it means is that we're setting a very wrong precedence for the Nigerian democracy that we're practicing. So I would advise strongly that the lawmakers should not be thinking of impeachment. Rather, they should be thinking of how best to work with the governor and ensure the dividends of democracy for the teeming people of Rivers State. That's the ideal thing to do.
Now, speaking about not impeaching him, how about if they remain, if they refuse to impeach him, but make life miserable for him? Because he may make appointments, they will insist that they will not approve those appointments. He may do things, and they remember that it's the court, the Supreme Court did not only reinstate or ask the other 27 lawmakers to resume work. He also assumed, the Supreme Court also said that the clerk, you understand, of the House of Assembly should also resume work. That is to say that Fubara totally will not have hold of the legislature at all. That means
but you know also that there's still a case in court which has not been determined yet. And that case is
that will validate their legitimacy.
Good. So they too must tread carefully, because if they come in and impeach the governor, and the court now says that they are not valid members of the State House of Assembly, it means that the impeachment will become more like something you can't hold water. So I think that the best thing is let everybody show their swords and let the cases in court be determined, after which decisions can begin to be taken. So that's why I'm saying that going for impeachment right now is actually not the right thing to do. If after impeaching the governor and then the judgment is delivered that they are not members or they are not qualified to continue to be members of the State House of Assembly, so what happens? So we'll now say that the impeachment was done by illegal members of the State House of Assembly.
So, but
so it's going to be
that the case that validates their, that authenticates their validity, whether they are valid members of the House, has been in court for a while. And the court is yet to attend to that case. And this is where the problem is. So since the courts never hear that case, whether or not they be legitimate members, understanding, say the Supreme Court itself gets cases where we say they don't get before, where show, say anybody we don't leave in party to another party, don't the seat could they declared open. So you feel, say, not be deliberate attempt to delay the courts so that maybe before they go even hear that matter, they don't already impeach governor, and maybe they're not going to even hear them again till the end of the administration. What do you think? Because that's another thing.
Well,
everything possible.
If that plays out, it means that the judiciary has lost every atom of justice within its circle. And it means that the people can no longer believe in the actions of the judiciary. I think that with the speed with which they dispensed with this case, the one that has asked Fubara, that has told Fubara that the local government election he conducted was totally unacceptable, they should use the same speed to dispense with other cases, But like I keep saying, it's unfortunate that, this case has lingered on for too long. It's really, really unfortunate. And if you look at it, who are people that are suffering? It is the Rivers State people.
Rivers people.
So, and I keep asking myself, when, with all these things that Wike is rejoicing all over the place, I wonder how he sleeps at night. And I wonder how he thinks the Rivers people will accept him at the end of the day. How would history talk of him? So, because what is playing out in Rivers State is the fact that a godfather wants to hold sway. He wants to show that he is the godfather and that he brought this man to power, So, but we need to be able to have a democratic system that allows somebody who has been elected to perform, to carry on the responsibilities for which he has been elected by the people. And so we need to tinker with the electoral law once more. Look at the law and look at the 1999 Constitution, which I don't believe in. But since we are practicing it, they need to look at it and look at that clause that gives an opening for politicians to do whatever they want to do. I mean, look at what's happening in the House of Rep, in the National Assembly. Everybody is decamping to the ruling party for no just cause. So how can you go and win election under Labour Party?
Do you fear that Nigeria is gradually tilting to one-party system?
Well, yes, Nigeria that is because most of the politicians we have today are politicians, that believe in stomach infrastructure. We have belly face. I mean, I am miffed as I talk to you that even Senator Shehu Sani has gone back to the APC. I'm really, shocked when I'm devastated. In other words, it doesn't give me the hope.
One of the founding members. He was one of the founding members of APC. Don't forget, it was because of his drift with El Rufai he left APC. So how about that?
So are you now trying to say if you had won the election under PDP to continue as a senator, would you have come to APC? So it brings us back to what Oshomole said a few years back. That once you decamp to APC, all your sins are forgiven. And this is not good for democracy that we're talking about in Nigeria. A one-party state is not democratic system. It is dictatorial. There is no other way to talk about it. So I believe that it is high time that clause in the Constitution that allows people, that empowers people to move from one party to another while maintaining their position should be scrapped. So that it should be that once you leave the party that gave you power, that gave you vote, that made you a senator, you lose that seat. When you have that kind of law, I am telling you, people will not cross carpet.
All right, so let's visit other events that happen. Of course, we cannot just skip events. I like us to look at what an APC chieftain in Anambra State said about the Igbo people, where he said that the Igbo people are still at war. The Nigerian state is still at war with Igbo, or the Southeast generally. But before we get there, let's quickly visit the Natasha Akpoti situation. Her husband has spoken that if, despite his intervention, numerous talk with Akpabio, that he still keeps harassing his wife sexually. And Akpabio's wife also spoke and said, my husband cannot do that kind of thing. My husband can, in fact, out of annoyance, she carried vex, sue Natasha 200 and something billion naira. Say, come and pay money. How can you do this? And she sued Natasha 200. Remember that Natasha sued her husband for 100.3 billion naira. So she sued Natasha for 250 billion naira. Again, even though Natasha responded to her and told her to allow her husband answer for himself. But other members of the House of the Senate are tilting towards Akpabio, including Ireti Kingibe and other female, her rest female counterparts or colleagues who have been quiet about what she's complained about. And of course, most of the other male, including the deputy chief whip, they are all in support of Akpabio. But I'd like to take your reaction to this, and what do you see playing out? Bukola Saraki has come out to say that her hearing before the Ethics and Privileges Committee should be made public. She also cried that she wants it to be made public. But you see the Senate of the 10th Assembly under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu making that hearing public. Understanding, say that be the first time where they don't accuse Akpabio for this kind of crime. Different occasions where they don't accuse them. We may even go and play those occasions. Okay, let me take your reaction before I go to other critical things Natasha said that we underlooked. The fact that she said that Akpabio threatened to kill protesters during the End Bad Governance protesters. I mean, that was basically what it meant. But let's have you react to these before we go to that threat. And I'll have to play an excerpt of her talking about that.
Nigeria is a society where we do not expect the women to talk. We do not expect the women to get involved in politics in any way. Nigeria is a country where we believe that for a woman to get involved in politics, she must be ready to make certain sacrifices. And I will say this because I run a foundation where we talk about the girl child, we talk about the issue of rape, sexual harassment, and all of that. There are certain things that people just don't say in public. And one of them is saying that somebody is harassing you sexually. It's women don't say it in public. Women, that is one thing a lot of women find difficult to come out and say. So for Natasha to have said that, bearing in mind that the whole world will see it, including her husband and her children, it means that she has thought it through, and it means that she's ready to go all the way. And the husband has also come out, which she also said that to a large extent the husband is aware of the antics of the Senate president. And the husband has come out to say, yes, I intervened. It means that between Natasha and the husband and the Senate president, the three of them know what is going on. So it will be too quick for anybody to say Natasha is lying. It will also be too quick for anybody to say the Senate president is lying. But behind every rumor, there's an element of truth. Now, taking it down to the Senate president's wife, I think she acted too hastily. She should have waited. Because I tell you, if you bring Shongo now and give to the Senate president's wife to swear, she will not swear. I know, and a lot of us know that. So I think she ought to have waited and allowed her husband to handle this matter. And if you read the response of Natasha to the woman, it told the woman clearly she should skip off. And she should not get involved in something that would rubbish her the more tomorrow.
Yes.
This is a country where you remember her phone number, the husband's phone number, the side chicks' numbers, everything was published. This is also a country where you remember what's her name, in 2020 or so, the former MD of NDDC.
Yes, NDDC. Joy.
Yes, said she slapped him. And if you also remember that time, the Senate president's response was that the woman was sick or she had mental problems, she needed mental evaluation.
She had different husbands, so I mean.
Exactly. So sometimes the things we use to shame our women, they're just things that, naturally when you say it, every man will say yes, yes, yes. But I think that we have grown past that level. We have grown past where it's like calling a woman a prostitute today. For me, it doesn't. If you call a woman a prostitute, I'll tell the woman, it's the longest profession in the world. The Bible recognizes it, and I also believe that the Quran recognizes it. So it's not a big deal. So we must grow above that stage of shaming people because of their gender. So I would say that, with due respect to the wife of the Senate president, I think she should, it's something I believe that the husband can handle. And I believe that she should allow the husband to handle it. Now, and then I keep asking myself, if tomorrow the evidences show that, yes, truly, Akpabio has been toasting this lady and all of that, making sexual advances at her, and there are evidences that shows it, what will she do? How will she tell the public?
You think, say, is it possible, say, Natasha no go get evidence, considering, say, she herself a lawyer? So you think, say, is it possible, say, she no really get anything where she go fit you show, say, indeed, these accusations not true? Because I sure say, no,
well,
you also know the people we should deal with, like politicians and someone like Akpabio, what his antecedents may be.
If you listen to that interview she granted, she said she had evidences. And then it reminds me of our friend and our brother Dele Faratomi, who also said he had evidence. And then at the end of the day, everybody started begging for the case to be withdrawn. So I hope that people will not start tomorrow to beg Natasha to withdraw the case. But I said, well, let me tell you my annoyance is the fact that I saw women, mothers, carrying placards and calling Natasha a woman like them, all manner of names.
I kid you.
And then I asked myself this question: why is it that each time a man and a woman has an issue, the women that should try to support the agenda would rather support the men? I asked myself that question. Is it out of hunger? Is it as a result of poverty? Or what is it? Is it the fact that the Nigerian women feel subjugated? So what is it? When I saw that video, one thing I said to myself: if my mother or somebody I know is in that video, I will never walk on the same street, on the same path with that person.
Is it that bad? Well, let's quickly take the reaction. We mentioned Joy Nunez's case. We mentioned Joy Nunez's case. Let's take a listen to our interview with Arise Television, where she made this revelation. I think sometime in 2020.
Why did you slap him?
Let's see.
Why did you slap
the only Nigerian woman that has slapped his face?
Why did you slap him? Why did you slap him?
He slapped him because of his plan B. He thought that he could, since he couldn't get me to take that money, he thought that plan B, if it could come up on me. He didn't know that I'm a Port Harcourt girl. Port Harcourt girls are not moved by money, by somebody telling me that you make me a substantive MD. The Port Harcourt girls are
Can we clarify this? Because we can't gloss over a slap. What is the plan B? He came up on you. What exactly does that mean?
We were having a meeting. Akpabio's meeting with me is either in Apple or at Meridian or whatever. Those are his meetings. I slapped him.
Well, Joy, are you accusing Senator Akpabio of attempted rape? Is that the point you are making? Or sexual harassment?
Harassment sounds better, not rape.
Okay, so you are accusing him expressly of sexual harassment?
Yes, I am accusing him.
Whoa, so you heard that revelation? That was as far back as 2020. Joy Nunez, she's from Ogoni in Rivers State, and she was an acting ND of NDDC at that time. And you heard what she said, that Akpabio they try make advances on them so that then go make her a substantive MD of NDDC. But say she don't want to take that rubbish. Say she be Port Harcourt girl and say she don't get enticed by money. Now, if Akpabio's case, in Akpabio's wife's case, do you see her also referring back to Joy Nunez's case and also going back to sue Joy Nunez and every other woman who may have at one time or the other accused the Senate president of sexual harassment?
Well, that is why I said that she acted too quick. There's a saying that if you have cockroaches and skeleton in your cupboard, don't join politics. Because the moment you join politics, everything you are hiding, people will bring it out. Secondly, the internet does not lie.
And you need to forget.
It doesn't forget. 10 years, 20 years from today, Akpabio's name will come out whether he likes it or not, as one man who is fond of sexually harassing women.
Whether it's true or not?
Well, the first one that they said he was slapped, if you recall what he said at that time, he said the lady was suffering from mental problem. And the thing was brushed aside. Now, another person is accusing you of the same thing. The Igbo people will say that if a child is pointing somewhere, if the mother is not there, the father is there. So there must be something about Akpabio that makes women always want. Why is it that they didn't accuse any other person in the Senate?
Okay, so I would like me to take some of those accusations by waiting behind her name on this sexual issue before we go to the parts where she talks, say, insane will kill protesters. But let's take more of what her expression, how she expressed this accusation. The reason why this is important now, make we find out waiting make we go allow person we don't get such an incident or issue before to can't take the kind of high position we take. If now for other countries, you go the operational, they go fit let this kind of person occupy position like that. Or
Many people do not know what I'm about to say, but I'm going to speak my own truth. And the Senate President is allowed to counter that. It all started on the 8th of December, 2023, which was a day before his birthday and my birthday. We are birthday mates. We were all in Akwa Ibom because he had a big fanfare in the stadium. Myself, my husband, and a few of his close friends, we went to Akwa Ibom. And at first, we were at Ikot Ekpene. We were in his house in Ikot Ekpene. Then we all moved to his house in Uyo, which was about 8 p.m. And he held my hand and said he wanted to show me around his house. My husband was walking behind us, just 3 of us. We're walking around from room to room. He showed me the beautiful interior. This was done by this, by that, this designer here, he bought this from us. Like, oh, it's beautiful. And then I noticed that he hastened his pace while still holding my hand. And my husband was behind, still on his phone, but he was catching up whenever he could. And then he got to this particular sitting room, and he said, "Do you like my house?" I said, "Of course, sir. Every room, beautiful, nice interior, quality taste." He said, "Now that you're a senator, I'm going to create a time for us to come spend quality moments here. You will enjoy it." At that point, I just pulled away and I was like, I don't really understand what exactly that meant. But then my husband now, when I turned around, I saw my husband was already near me. And the way my husband looked at me and looked at him, I was beginning to wonder, did he hear part of that inciting statements or not?
And so you heard that. I don't want us to, take on that too much, but you heard what she said. And that even started in the presence of her husband, without regard to her husband, whether or not indeed there. And say secret, what did they call them? Gossips like this, we don't filter in over time. Remember the gossip then by Gislover that led to the exposure of his telephone number, that of his wife and side chicks and all that. This may likely be this man's stock in trade. I didn't say it. These were gossips. So why would you think that would go as far as also letting this person take into the position of the highest office, number 3 office in Nigeria? I'm coming. I want to also get to where she spoke about him also insisting that before he would let her bills go, she knows what to do. So she's in the Senate to ensure she works for her people, to push bills that would better the lot of her people. And then somebody who's the presiding officer in the Senate is telling her that for me to let you even talk, to push anything for your people, waiting to do that, make it come do the need for me.
At the nightclub incident, I believe that was not a slip of tongue. That was not a slip of tongue. He has a number of times told me that there are various ways we can have fun. If we travel, he has a way of making the whole the house, the space. He can basically create a party in the space. Do you understand? Like a nightclub in the space and would have fun and all of that. So that nightclub incident statement was not a mistake. It was more like out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak it. But let me say this.
Okay, so we don't have time really. So remember that she also spoke about how he subtly threatened her during that nightclub incident saga. He threatened her when he called her at midnight. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. So you not think, say, with all this fear now and understanding, say this and the antecedent, there were other revelations that have been made about Akpabio in the past. So remember, there was an investigation by what's his name now, David Hundeyin, during when one and Anieka Abi Nsekat Omore also died. One young girl that is a copper died. That David Hundeyin, made a discovery and expose how some kind of things we get to do with both Akpabio and his wife. And some sort of military movements we even get to lead to the end of people's life they mentioned for inside that incident. Where David, they talk, say he still follow for waiting make him be like saying be a wanted person for inside Nigeria till today. So do you think Natasha can fight this battle if she keeps pushing, considering the caliber of persons she's fighting?
Okay, let us start from the root. You know, they say when the head is rotting, the whole body is gone. Between you and I, how did Senator Akpabio come into the Senate?
Without primary.
That's a big question that is begging for an answer. How did he come into the Senate? Don't forget that him and Lawan both were contesting for, I think, presidency.
Yes, they did primary.
And by the time they had to go, when they lost her, not that they lost her, when they ended up giving up their slot for the current president, they now ran back to their state to get back the ticket for the Senate.
And they had to do that through the courts.
Through the courts. You know, so the court has been available to aid and abate irregularities.
That's so court, they support that.
Well, they'll tell you their technicalities. That's the new language. But what I'm trying to get at is the fact that you don't give what you don't have. So he came into the Senate. We also know how he became the Senate president. It was not like, you know, it was free and fair voting. No. It was more like an imposition by Mr. President. But I need to say this to Nigerians. For the fact that you're a Senate president does not mean that you're above every other senator in that house. You are all felt equals. Well, you have elected him to say, okay, let there be order. Let us have an order to operate on. And that was why he was made the Senate president. But you know, unfortunately, Nigeria is a country where people get drunk with power. And I think that right now, we have a power-drunk Senate president.
All right, so let's get quickly.
Let me finish. I spent this afternoon watching the video in which he tendered an apology when he referred the first time he had issue with Natasha, when he talked about the nightclub.
Yes.
And I saw the subtle way with which he tried to drive a narrative. And that narrative is that if I say you have gone to the market, people will not say, I called you a market woman. And then I said to myself, what is wrong with talking about community and market? Why would a Senate president be making reference to a nightclub of all places? So it shows you the level of moral decadence that some of these people we call leaders are throwing around the whole place.
Now, Prince Francis,
I had expected that by now, the Senate president would have stepped aside and allowed proper investigation to be conducted. You cannot go and write WAEC and be the one to mark your scripts. You will never fail. But I'm hoping that within the same Senate, we should have men of honor and proven integrity. Men that are not biased. Men that will see the truth and speak the truth. But for the women in the Senate, I don't blame them if they don't talk, because you hardly hear about them. Even with Senator Ireti Kingibe, the only time you hear about her is when she comes to complain about Wike not carrying her along. And each time she does that, she's told to mind her business. In class terms, she's told that this is a man's world. So I am not surprised, or I won't be surprised if she decides also to join the bandwagon of people who are supporting the Senate president, because everybody in the Senate wants to benefit. They are there not because of the people, but they are there because of the largesse of the office.
All right. So this is there's another worrisome development from what Natasha said. The fact that the Senate president had mentioned that in the eve of that end bad governance protest, that if people come out can't talk, anybody will come out can't talk, saying would do away with the person. Indirectly saying that the Senate president did mention to kill protesters. This should be a very serious thing to say. Could this be the reason why we heard the things we heard during that protest period? Remember, there was a gossip that went around then that there was a meeting between, I think it was People's Gazette that had that revelation, or that had that exclusive, that there was a meeting between, I think they said Fubara Wike and Akpabio, when the protest persisted, that they said that if the protest continues, that they will get somebody to whether, attack police officers, and if a police officer dies, they will now attack the protesters and say, oh, they've killed a law enforcement agency and all that. That gossip was there during that end bad governance process. Do you think there would have been this thing Akpabio said that would have led to such meetings? After let's take a listen to how she said
the Senate president has the right to allocate seats to every senator, and the senator may, at the nightclub incident, I believe that was not a slip of tongue. That was not a slip of tongue. He has a number of times told me that there are various ways we can have fun. If we travel, he has a way of making the whole the house, the space. He can basically create a party in the space. Do you understand? Like a nightclub in the space, and would have fun and all of that. So that nightclub incident statement was not a mistake. It was more like out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. But let me say this. The day before he... Please, Rufai, let me land.
Go ahead,
Natasha.
Go ahead.
Let me speak. Please
go ahead. Please go ahead. Well,
if you don't want me to speak, I'll walk out and complete this on my Facebook, please.
Please go ahead. We're trying to
Natasha.
manage time, Senator, but go ahead and finish it quickly. We're trying to manage time, but please go ahead.
The night, or should I say that morning, early hours of the morning that he apologized, which was 23rd of July, 2024. That was the morning he apologized. So the night about, I have it printed here, I have the screenshots of the phone call. It was 14 minutes past midnight when my phone rang. The leader of the House called me, Senator Michael Bamidele Opeyemi called me, and he said, Senator, how are you? I said, I'm fine. He said, in the wake of all of this rancor, if the Senate president goes down, I will go down too. And I said, what do you mean, sir? At that point, I woke my husband up because he had fallen asleep before me. I said, are you calling me to threaten me? I could hear murmurs from the Senate president. I could hear the Senate president's voice at the background because I could tell he was on speakerphone. He said, no, I'm just telling you that, there's a whole lot of attack on the Senate president, and if things go down, if he resigns or something happens, I should know that I'm going to be held responsible, and I also go down. At that point, I started shouting. I was like, you can't call me at midnight and threaten me, sir. You can't do this. And mind you, I was actually surprised because the leader of the House is someone I respect greatly. He's a very good friend. He's a very calm person. And I believe, I'm saying it, that if he actually made those statements, he probably was told to do so. So I dropped the line. And then I dropped the line. The first conversation was just 2 minutes, 33 seconds. Then my phone rang again at 26 minutes past midnight, that same day. And then it was the same call, Senator Opeyemi's line, but then it was the Senate president's voice. He said, Princess of the Senate. That's how he calls me casually. I've been attacked. My wife has not slept for days. She's been crying. She's received lots of insults, all because of you. I said, no, sir, it's not because of me. It's because of you. I didn't force you to order that statement. And I did not call on the support I received from Nigerian women. So don't blame it on me. He said, no, he's telling me this because the Dane of Agbo, I think he's a king in Agbo in Delta State. So the Dane of Agbo spoke with him. and told him that he, that's the Senate president, was the most hated politician in Nigeria at that point. Mind you, that was a few days to the protest. There was this.
Okay, unfortunately, I can't play it to the level where she said that. But bottom line, she did say that Akpabio, she insinuated that Akpabio said that, threatened that if people came out, in fact, that any young person that is around the age of 20 or 18 to 20 that comes out, and that's, you know, because she said Akpabio had mentioned that he may be targeted for attacks during the protest. So that's why he did say that any young person that comes out for the protest and tries to attack him, that he will do away with that person, meaning that he will kill the person. Now, a House of Rep member has said he would kill an Uber driver. And here is the Senate president insinuating by that statement from Natasha that he would kill protesters if they did anything silly. Remember, there was also gossips, or there were gossips during that protest period, that there was a meeting between Fubara Wike and him, that they were saying that they were going to look for a way to attack. That it was an exclusive from People's Gazette. I can't quote it thoroughly now because it's been a while. That they would ensure that when the protest persists, they were looking for a way to end the protest. That if the protest continues, say they go find way to cause trouble, make them kill or attack security agents. And when they do that attack, they'll come blame them on the protesters. Come talk, say protesters don't kill security agents. Then they will come, you know, disperse the protesters, use police, army, either kill them, throw away with them, do away with them. I don't know what exactly it was, but I can't quote verbatim. But why this kind of, what did it mean for people we put in charge of our resources to reason in a manner like this? Say, if we want to protest, if we want to do things to truncate anything we will talk, say that they do what they against us, then the easiest thing to think about is to do away with individuals that you're managing their resources. What does this mean to Nigeria?
What it means that Nigerians, when they were handing over their sovereignty to their so-called leaders, they didn't keep anything behind. They handed over the entire sovereignty. First and foremost, the politicians, when they want to contest for election, they spend so much money. That is when you see them buying bags of rice, onions, tomatoes, and that's when you see that there's scarcity of naira. Because by the time they get a cup of rice, 2 balls of onions and all of that, and then print bags with their pictures and names and their party on it, they put 5,000 naira and give to anybody that cares to collect. So when the elections are over, the first thing is for them to recoup their money. It's an investment. There must be return on investment. So anything that will stop them from getting that money back, obviously to be taken out. So Nigerians need to understand that the moment you allow yourself to collect 5,000, collect 10,000, and vote in the wrong person, that money you have collected will be what you have to pay back over a period of 4 years.
Hey!
So that is the situation you find yourself. And that is why once there's a problem, once there's anything they notice, that will affect them, because it's not about the Nigerian people. I keep saying it. It's about their selfish interest. So anything that will stop that selfish interest, they were ready to step on you like a cockroach. So that is, the problem. Unfortunately, too, we run a Senate that looks like a court.
Are you serious? Now, there are also people that are saying that, I think there's even a message on this live to that effect, that there is a political agenda to bring Senator Akpabio down using Senator Natasha. So,
to bring him down. People will say a lot of things. To bring him down, for what purpose?
I don't know.
He's serving the purpose for which he has been made the Senate president. Don't forget, he's the one who told you that whatever Mr. President brings, even if it is conceived, it will be approved. As you are running this program this night, there's a question that has been begging for an answer, and the Senate has not been able to provide an answer. Where and how did the money for the purchase of the presidential jet come? How did it come?
And
was it appropriated by the Senate? Or was it just a freelance money? So if you have a Senate that cannot tell you certain things, that cannot look the executive in the eye and challenge them, then something is definitely wrong. So I don't believe anybody saying there is any plan to bring the Senate president down. The Senate president is the one that, a trap has been set and he fell into the trap. And that's the truth. See, let me tell you the truth. Let me tell you something. What the aide of the Senate president said when this issue between Natasha and the Senate president started was uncalled for. It was totally uncalled for.
Pancake and transparent words.
Yes, that is somebody's wife. That is somebody's wife. If it was a society that is sane, that young man will be sued. How did you know, as an aide, how did you know she's wearing see-through? How did you know she roasts pancake? Is that your business? Is that why you were employed as an aide? So what it means is that this is one thing that I have discussed in a circle where he is by the Senate president, and he decides to take it up. So there are things that have been said that shouldn't have been said. And that's the truth.
All right. So
I had thought that the Senate president would have behaved like the former Senate president, Bukola Saraki, who is more clever and a wise man. Why was it that all through when he was the Senate president, nobody accused him of sexual harassment? Was he not also a Senate president? Yes. Why was he not accused? So if you're a man and at different times people are accusing you of something, then you need to do a retrospect of yourself.
Thank you, sir. So let's quickly move to another very important issue that happened during the week as we're taking the week in retrospect. There is an APC chieftain in Anambra State. I think his name is Dr. Chike Odibo. He contested during the 2013 election in Anambra State and also in 2017 in Anambra State. He said something very critical about the sit-at-home situation, the Nnamdi Kanu situation, and the Igbo situation generally in Nigeria. He did have quite a lot to say. He mentioned that it looks like the Southeast is still at war, that the Nigerian state is still waging war against the Southeast. Like the war or the Biafra war isn't over yet. Because if you look at everything that is happening, it almost looks like the Southeast is deliberately against, the Nigerian state is deliberately against the Southeast people. We look at the issue of infrastructural development or capital projects from the federal government. There is barely a presence from Muhammadu Buhari's administration to now Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, even including appointments. You hardly have any good, substantial appointments from the Southeast. People have been complaining. Buhari mentioned, came with his lopsided appointments where people mentioned, spoke a lot about nepotism. And the same nepotism that people they talk about for inside Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. In fact, they even say Tinubu own nepotism even worse as Buhari own nepotism. And it don't continue right now. Remember, say this 2025 budget we get, we'll not go forget, say no single capital project or infrastructural project for the Southeast inside the 2025 budget. But most other regions than they represented. As a matter of fact, a railroad that is supposed to connect major cities in Nigeria and Abuja just only passed through the Southwest, cutting off the Southeast and South-South, pass through the Southwest to the North and then to Abuja. Some people they talk say, how it being say Nigeria will use continue to exist like this? And he did mention that the sit-at-home is just a subtle way for the Igbos to protest that is even voluntarily that he shuts down most of his business during the weekend because it's a subtle way to protest or agitate for the good cause of the Igbo people. I like you to treat that. And let's even know, do you think that the Nigerian people, that Nigeria is still waging war against the Igbo people in Nigeria?
You know, Precious.
Sir?
Honestly speaking, I would say that it is painful, it's sad.
Oh dear. I think I'm losing you because of network. I do hope that we're able to reconnect back to you. Prince Francis Chilaka, sir, are you there? Are you there? Can you hear me? All right. So, I mean, this is something that we need to speak of because it's one of the problems that we have in Nigeria right now. Sir, can you hear me? Are you there? Sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah, that is Nigeria. Now, what I'm saying is that now, yes, everybody knows that you do not have presence of the federal government in the Southeast. But Precious, let me say this with all sense of responsibility. It's not about the presence of the federal government. I'm not bothered about that. Honestly speaking, I am not. I am more worried about the role the Southeast leaders are playing in ensuring that they give the people of the Southeast some hope and some light. These same Southeast governors, on a monthly basis, they collect FAQ from the federal government. Why are they not using it to develop the Southeast? Let it be that they're even doing the little they can do for the benefit of the people. Let it be that they're doing the little they can do. I have always said that the sit at home was a mistake. It was a mistake because the sit at home has not added value to the cries of the Southeast people. If you like, sit at home from from Monday to Friday, it does not affect the federal government.
That is, you don't consign them now yourself, you do.
It does not. Yes, the only way sit at home would have affected the federal government is to say that across the entire country, all businesses owned by the Igbos remain shut down on Mondays. Then you will see that the federal government will react. With all the sit at home we have been talking about, every Monday, you have the unknown gunmen operating in the Southeast. Meanwhile, from Tuesday to Sunday, the checkpoints in the Southeast are live and active.
So why
do the people
go? So where the checkpoints they go on
Mondays? Go, that's the question everybody's asking. They also sit at home on Mondays. Is that not laughable?
So you think that the security agencies
when you talk about
at home, one word or the other?
When you talk about the issue of the train connecting the entire country, why is it that the Southeast governors are not even connecting themselves with train? Let it be that they have done what they are supposed to do internally. They are now waiting for external help. Who is your Minister for Works? Where is he from?
Your brother, Omahi.
So his own people do not deserve a train.
Speaking about the Minister for Works, let me quickly just tell you something he said recently. While he was mentioning that the first 30 kilometers thereabout of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway will be ready sometime in May, so that the president will launch it. Abi will commission it. Then he can't talk something. He can't talk, say whether people like him or not. Say the president will come back for 2027. I for like play where and talk and make on a see and by yourself.
I enjoyed social media when one man was insulting me that I went to Sokoto to say, look, we will not be able to finish the entire Sokoto Badagry in 4 years. We need extra 4 years. And of course, a man that has the courage to do what was dreamt 45 years back is the only.
Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, I think I lost that. I go get and play and finish. So he was trying to say that because he had the courage to do what people have not done in 45 years, that it's only President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that can finish that work. So because of that, he must be reinstated in 2027. I will get the full one and I'll play for you. But let's take a reaction.
Well, 2027 will be determined by the people. If the people want a government that has given them so much pains, so much discomfort, a government that has taxed everybody to the point that there is nothing else to tax. If the people want that government back in power, it is left for the people to decide. Dave Umahi is just one vote. He does not control the vote of 200 million Nigerians. And I'm sure that if he goes back to his constituency today to contest an election, he will not win.
You think so?
I know so. But I'm not bothered about that. I am not bothered. I am bothered with the fact that IBB has come out to tell Nigerians and Nigeria that the reason why you people have been stigmatizing the Igbos over a phantom coup and you claim that was an Igbo coup, it is not the Igbos. So the question we should be asking ourselves, what is the federal government going to do about that revelation?
What do you think they should do? What's their
And that is why I said that it was too early for Hanez and Igbo to start talking about that revelation. The ideal thing that should be done is that the Igbo think tank needs to sit down and study that book and seek audience with IBB. And thereafter, issue a paper to the National Assembly asking that that tag on the Igbos be removed. And asking that if it is because of that tag that development has not come to the Southeast, something should be done. Like a friend of mine asked me the other day, I think they're asking for, is it 10 trillion or how many trillion that Haneze is asking? Is it my father in the grave that they're going to give part of the money? How will that money be disbursed? Is it to the same governors who have not been able to manage the one that has been given to them for the benefit of the people? So I don't think it's about asking for money. I think it's about asking for equity, justice, and fair play. That is what the Igbos should be asking for. And that is what any right-thinking Nigeria should be asking for. So let us know, with this revelation, what is the federal government going to do? I won't be shocked if IBB's book or IBB's revelation is used for 2027 campaign. I won't be shocked because Nigerian politicians can use anything for campaign.
Campaign care.
Maybe the next slogan you will hear is that when we come back in 2027, we will untag the Igbos. We will say that the coup will officially issue a gazetted paper to say that yes, that the coup was not by the Igbos. and to say that Igbos have been, reintegrated into the mainstream Nigeria. It will come up. Go and you wait and see.
Wow. All right, so let's go back to that video where Umeha said what Umahi rather said what he said. And I'd like to get a re-election because this is also about 2027, where he said that no matter how people see it, that the president must be re-elected in 2027.
I enjoyed social media when one man was insulting me that I went to Sokoto to say, look, we will not be able to finish the entire Sokoto Badagry in 4 years. We need extra 4 years. And of course, a man that has the courage to do what was dreamt 45 years back is the only man that will have the courage to finish it. And I say we must vote for him in 2027. And he was insulting me, but I love such insult because it will make me to say more. The president must be re-elected by the power of God. Those in support say aye. The ayes have it. So I want that man insulting me to.
All right, so you heard that, your brother David Umahi. Now, you were speaking about Igbo people or Igbo leaders coming together. Do you see someone like Umahi now coming, speaking? But should someone like Umahi not even speak to the plight of Igbo people?
You see, the politicians will always be politicians. Immediately a politician wins an election, rather than sit down and work, he's thinking of the next election. So Umahi that is talking, let him tell me one legacy project that this government has done. Let him tell me how this government that he's now promoting for 2027, how have they bettered the life of the Nigerian people? Is it hunger? Is it security? Is it electricity? Is it housing? Is it good roads? What is it that this government would tell to Nigerians? I'm trying to wait. I'm waiting patiently. I want to see what they will use to campaign in 2027. Honestly, I'm waiting patiently. Maybe by 2026 now, they will start telling you that there's no more band A, there's no more band B, there's no more band C. Maybe towards 2027, 2026, end of 20, they start telling you, oh, fuel has to come back to 200 naira. They'll start telling you how many Boko Haram members have been killed, not reintegrated into the society. So I'm waiting. I'm honestly, I'm really curious, and I'm waiting to see the kind of script that this government would boldly showcase to Nigerians and seek for re-election.
All right, but before we go back to politics, which is Lagos State politics right now, the drama in the Lagos State House of Assembly, let's go to Katsina State and Bauchi State, where Hisba and the state governor have requested for the shutdown of schools for the 30 days of Ramadan. That is, for 30 days, where they go to fast and pray. Children will go to school for that 30 days. What does this thing mean to the education system in Nigeria, especially considering, say, the North now get the highest number of out-of-school children and the highest number of illiteracy for Nigeria? What do they mean?
That is the height of mediocrity. It simply shows you how low life leadership you have in the North. I've been waiting since this broadcast was made, and I'm waiting to hear from, is it Arewa Youth Forum? The ones who believe that they have been so learned. The ones who believe that Nnamdi Kanu should not be set free. The one who believes that the Southeast is their problem. I've been waiting for them to come out and talk. They're not talking. They don't see anything wrong in a situation where children, the children of the poor, the children, the Kalawatas, are being denied education. Meanwhile, the governors, the state house of assembly members, all their children are abroad schooling. Either they're abroad or they're outside the state in private schools, private universities. Is it not a shame that in this 21st century, when those of us in the South are even saying that Monday to Friday is not enough for our children to go to school, and somebody wakes up from sleep and is saying they will not allow children to go to school for 30 days. Honestly, it is a shameful thing. And it is more shameful that it is coming from people who call themselves leaders and educated elites. It is really, really shameful. In the 21st century, what it means is that each time there's going to be a Muslim festival, it should declare public holiday for 1 month. But I don't feel sorry for them.
Oh, wow. Why?
I feel sorry for the children of the Southerners that are schooling in the North that will be subjected to this madness. Honestly, since the North has decided that their own children should not go to school, or the children of the downtrodden in the North should not go to school. Now I'm beginning to imagine if they had succeeded in introducing Sharia in the Southwest, then it means that the Southwest would have joined too.
Okay, so
how do we do things? We do the wrong things. The Christians will say it is the will of God. You do the wrong things. The Muslims will say it is the will of Allah. When did we start fighting for God and Allah as individuals? When did we start it?
Okay, so I like us to talk on the.
Everybody wants to say the truth. Religion is a scam in Africa. Religion is a scam in Africa and in Nigeria.
Hey.
Because those who are promoting it, are using it to scam the people, whether they are Muslims, whether they are Christians.
You know, say there places where you go talk and they go say you don't do blasphemy.
That is their business.
Anyway, all right, so let's leave religion.
I do not believe in all sincerity. I do not believe in all sincerity that Muhammad would support what they are saying or what they are doing. I do not believe it. I have had the opportunity to read the Hadith. I've had the opportunity to read the English version of the Quran. What a lot of people are practicing today is not in the Quran.
Thank you, Prince Francis. I would like us to leave that conversation for another day. Let's quickly visit the drama before the Lagos State House of Assembly, the power play with Mudashiru Obasa during the week, and how his goons came into, how he stormed the House of Assembly and said that he never go, saying still day, and how they commot the security aid of Miranda and contact say Obasa contact say because she been done resign, I make them come out as security aid. And then this massive support where be say Obasa gets. In fact, it was more like a fun fair. Let's take some footages from people, you know, his crowd, people who were cheering and supporting him. Let's see what he has to say. So you see in Timmy supporters, this now for the door of the assembly complex. So then gather the supporter. And they can't even sing the national anthem. Sorry, National Assembly anthem. Sorry. The anthem, what did they sing for our Prince Francis Chilaka, you know, and there were people who were supporting him. It was almost like a fun fair because people, I mean, crowd full everywhere. We gather, talk, say they go do anything, you know, for him. Make we hear what this young man get to talk
He has
about.
served a lot, not now. A sixth time honorable member in the Lagos State House of Assembly. For him alone, it's not an easy thing. Nobody asks the 32 colleagues not to even impeach him. You can do that. Obasa have served a lot from the time of XDP. That's when Obasa have been serving the Lagos State. It belongs to Asiwaju movement. It belongs to all the party. He has worked for the grassroots. Now we are here because of me. We are here purposely because of Obasa for the reinstatement. Yoruba do make one proverb that if you don't I'm speaking, I'm honorable representing Alimosho Igbedimu constituency 2. I'm a councillor, I'm aspiring as a councillor. So we are here to prove our support. We belong to Asiwaju mandate. We are TMM, the mandate movement of Alimosho local government. And we represent Asiwaju Bola Ahmed. He's our leader. He's an amiable leader. He has worked. And he told them that he will reinstate this man back. We appreciate all our leaders that came from the southwest. Baba Konde and Ashoba. Same blessing to them. We appreciate them. Just for them to allow this guy to come back and finish. Let him come back, return his office back, then resign later. So that's why you can see more people. We are many. People who are still coming. More people who are coming. It's an impromptu arrangement. So we are all here for the reinstatement of Asiwaju Omo Arole Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president that will expire in 2031. Obasa is coming back as the sitting and as the speaker of Nigeria, the Federation as a whole. We want him back to come back as the 11th member of the Lagos State House of Assembly. Obasa must come back. My name is Honorable Samuel Olamilekon Adebamowo, the incoming councillor. What be Egbedimu? I belong to it. So respect. We love everybody. God bless you. Thank you.
Okay, so you don't hear as the young man they talk with vigor, it's in the pain and well. But he didn't wait to talk. He said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu go rule till 2031, whether they like him or not. He can't talk. Say even Obasa from Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly, he go reach straight to Speaker of the whole Nigeria very, very soon. And then he did say something about them allowing Obasa to come back, then resign honorably. Do you think that this power play is just because of the embarrassment of the impeachment? So he just wants to come back to assert his power, to come back and then honorably resign first. What do you think is playing out? Especially considering, say, there is also a sinister plan where they talk, say, no, this movement, now Lagos for Lagos movement. Where some people for Lagos, they talk, say, why Obasa go one man Miranda come out when Miranda na a true indigene of Lagos State? And people don't complain, say, wait, Obasa na from Lagos in from? Say, how Ingo from Ogun State come the day in charge of Lagos State for this long? And they won't come make a Lagos daughter come out for him to stay. So whether I'm from Lagos State, where I'm from, come. Make we even hear somebody even talk this one for Channel Television during an interview too, because the person said this during a broadcast, a live broadcast.
Really from Lagos State? Let's talk about it. The speaker cannot equate himself to governor of Lagos State. It's not possible.
Yeah, but from what we understand, and this is a quick wrap-up question now, from what we understand, the battle is because Speaker Miranda and the governor are from the same zone in Lagos, and that's what's causing a bit of a ruckus.
I just said it now, that governor is from Lagos Island, Miranda is from Apapa, and really, if you're talking about that, is Obasa really from Lagos State? Let's talk about it. Let's go there. Let us go there. Is he really a Lagosian? Is he a Lagosian? Is he an indigene of Lagos State?
Are you waiting for me?
Speaker from Lagos West. Lagos West is very indigenous area. They are Ojo, they are Badagry, everybody are in Lagos West. And they've chosen you up and above the region of Lagos State. And you are telling us now, oh, you are parading yourself in borrowed robes. Let us be clear about that. Was that really from Lagos State?
Prince Francis, did you hear what he said? That they put him up and above the indigenes of Lagos State and he's parading himself in borrowed robes. That's a serious statement. So what do you think will play out at the end of the day in Lagos State? Considering say some people don't talk, say if this thing where they happen for Lagos continue like this, it will cause big problem. What do you think will happen for Lagos State this week? Because this week a lot of things will happen. Remember, say River State now one matter. Oh, they hear the outcome. They wait to hear the outcome. Natasha and Akpabio matter. We will see here more development this week. And Lagos State, another place where they wait to hear more development to come. So what do you think will go happen? This one way they laugh me for Chinese, sir.
You know why I'm laughing? I'm laughing because the drama playing out in Lagos State is an interesting one. It is more like show of strength, show of power, show of tenacity, show of political bigotry, show of political hooliganism. That is what is playing out in Lagos State. But you see, looking at it, let me start by saying I am happy that no Igbo man has been mentioned in all of this brouhaha. That's my happiness. Nobody has said it is the Igbos who want Obasa to go, or it is the Igbos who want Miranda to stay or to go. It is them.
The same way they brought GRV.
It is the same people who came up with that narrative. Exactly. They brought the same narrative that the Igbos want to take over Lagos. It is the same people. But we need to ask ourselves, one bitter question that I'm sure a lot of people will not want to answer. How many people in that Lagos State of Assembly are truly Lagosians? How many governors who have ruled Lagos, how many of them are truly Lagosians? What has been playing out in Lagos is that so long as you can speak Yoruba, you are known as Omonile. You are known as a Lagosian. But if it's an Igbo man that is speaking all this grammar, they call you Omoina. Don't forget, in 2023, the Igbos were told to go to the southeast if they want to vote. Well, from all that is playing out, it is obvious that Obasa has the federal might behind him, just as Wike has the federal might behind him.
Why you talk like that? It's still saying I waiting making feel in charge of the police and wait for and come or something. Why you they talk like that?
Who has control over the police? The governor of the state, Sanwo-Olu, does not have control over the police. And that's the truth. The man who really has control over the police is Mr. President through the IGP of police. So the governor could not have withdrawn the police details attached to Miranda. Even if the governor wanted to do that, the commissioner of police in the state will still get permission from above. So it shows you that Obasa has strong federal might behind him. And this is the first time I'm seeing a speaker that has been impeached coming back and telling you that he is still the speaker and that the acting or the new speaker has resigned. This is also the first time that a speaker in a state got impeached, and you see leaders coming from different states, people from different states coming to form leaders to listen to and to take a decision.
So why?
And you call that democracy?
Why do you think that this issue has been difficult for the GAC, the Government Advisory Council, to handle in Lagos State? That's the
GAC is an illegality. GAC is an illegality all based on our democratic system. It's an illegality. They have no say. They shouldn't even be involved at all. Please point out to me which other state has GSC.
But
let me know.
pace now. Should be Lagos, they always set the pace. So Lagos don't start them since 2009.
Because what you're saying is that you have a body that is stronger than the democratic system.
All right, we have just a few minutes.
Those members of the GSC who elected them, don't forget that democracy is governance by election.
I have a
so who elected them? On whose sovereignty are they performing?
All right, so we have a few minutes left. Let me
I'm with you
into this conversation. They can just join. They click on the link on the pinned post, and then it will direct you straight to the studio, so you can jump in on the conversation to air your thoughts, your views, and reactions on any of the conversations we've had tonight. We did speak about the River State issue, as the governor of River State has said that he's willing to implement the Supreme Court judgment. He would conduct another local government election. The 27 lawmakers are likely to come back. How would that affect him? Would they impeach him immediately? That question we cannot answer till they resume sitting tomorrow. Where would they even sit? We do not know. But there are lots of issues that, are pending in River State, and of course they would unfold as soon as possible in River State. Then we also have, a chieftain a River State Methodist, the Bishop of Methodist Church in River State, saying that the River crisis can consume Nigeria's democracy. I wonder why he said that it can consume Nigeria's democracy. But we won't go straight to Akpabio's case, where the Deputy Chief Whip has defended Akpabio, dismissing Natasha's allegations as diversionary. So she just won't cause trouble because of ordinary seats. Say, I bet me she go sit down one corner. We could leave that matter. And remember, see the Deputy Chief Whip now, when you catch when boy, you don't dismiss him. Say me she go sit down one corner. And her husband has also weighed in, Akpabio's wife weighed in and filed the suit against Natasha to the tune of 250 billion naira. We talked about that too. And we talked about his bar and the Bauchi State governor shutting down schools in Bauchi and Katsina State for 30 days of Ramadan. For the 30 days of Ramadan, and the implication of that. Did I also let you know that your dear NLC has threatened to go on strike should the federal government increase electricity tariff for Band B and C electricity users? Remember that the federal government has said that there will be adjustment of electricity bills for Band C and B users. When they don't talk, say if we're not try, we'll go shut down the nation for strike. Not be the first, second, third, or fifth time. They don't say they will shut down nation. We'll not see any shutdown. Well, that's also in the offing. And the EFCC chairman said something over the week that he rejected 500 million naira offer during his mother's burial in 2019. So Nigerians should learn to say no to corruption. If he can say no to 500 million, which is about $500 million, any other person can say no. Why can you not control your long throat and say no to any ill money given to you? The Lagos lawmakers reject Obasa, insist Miranda remains speaker. Obasa insists that Miranda had resigned willfully, that she had withdrawn willfully, and he did say quite a lot. And her security details taken away, that of Obasa being reinstated. These are issues that we'll have to look at in the course of this conversation, or we're looking at tonight. And also the fact that the president had said that he won't let Nigerians down. And he also did appeal to aggrieved APC members like Chibika Amechi and El-Rufai. Did I also tell you that World Bank has approved a 2.2 billion naira loan for Nigeria this 2025? 2.2 billion naira, another loan for Nigeria this 2025. Well, that's it. And quite a lot of other issues. FCCPC saying that they would ensure that they deal with multi-choice, DSTV, GoTV, for daring to increase prices. Kindly click on the link on the button. It will bring you straight to the house to join in on the conversation. So would you like to shortly react to what the EFCC chairman said?
EFCC chairman has eaten so well. He's eating fat. He's earning a big salary. So obviously he will reject. But why is it that each time they come out to tell us they are rejecting bribe, they don't tell us who the bribe giver is? They don't tell us if the person giving the bribe has been prosecuted or not. In order for you to encourage people to say no to something, provide all the details. Make they do us, make they do. Try to look for solution where solution no day. I mean, he has said the right thing. It is right for people to shun corruption, to shun bribe. Just as he's saying it, we should also make it clear to our politicians to stop bribing the Nigerian people with rice, Maggi, onions, and 5,000 naira during the elections. So please, EFCC Organovex, we want to know the name of the person that offered you the bribe and under which condition that bribe was offered, so that we can clap for you and give you the man of the year of the man award for rejecting bribe. And then we know that the person who offered the bribe is cooling off in Kirikiri prison. That is what we want to hear.
All right,
and
so
please, let us forget about NLC. We do not have a union that represents the interests of the people in this country. We do not. So let us stop talking about NLC. NLC, the banks as of today, I think they have started the 100 naira ATM charge. Where is NLC? Where is NLC? Petrol is going for, Dangote is going for 860, NFBC is going for 945. Where is NLC? I beg, if NLC, when they are broke, you see them making noise. So they should go and sleep, just like ordinary gullible Nigerians are sleeping.
Thank you. So let me take some reactions from our YouTube platform here. XZ Dexter says, Nigeria isn't ready. Justice for Natasha. And Samuel Ukiwe says, there is a political agenda to bring Senator Akpabio down using Senator Natasha. Oh, wow. And Onyeka says, justice for women, Nigeria. I mean, justice for Nigerian women. Was that what that says? Justice for Nigerian women. Nigeria. Is it Nigeria? How many times did I call you? I wish Nigeria would answer you. John Bosco says Nigeria is actually. Oh no, you didn't say that. How is she whole country? You saw that, Abi. You be like saying a Donald Trump friend with that. Happiness Nicole says, love this man. Someone is in love with you, sir. Yep. And then this is a Joseph Ibewike. He says, you mean Omahi will not win as if your vote will count? And he laughs out loud. That's painful. That's painful. It's touching my chest. Like our votes, it's not a joking or a laughing thing that our votes don't count. But Sabinus Waje Bichi says, Precious Enyim, your guest is talking away about sit at home affecting FG. Why are they crying about it right now? You forgot that Federal Inland Revenue collects every Monday. You forgot the movement, no movement anyway. So that means themselves no go collect their own tax every Monday. Okay. John Bosco says APC don't have any what? APC don't have what now? APC don't have any reason to campaign come 2027. They only rely on rigging. That's all. That's what he said. That means they don't have a campaign point. Joseph says, Oga, you go wait tire. They didn't promise you anything, and are not ready for to promise you anything too before they can win any election. That means they really don't owe us anything. That means we will, oh Jesus, this is funny. They are coming to all. They are coming to all of you, whether north or south. Sharia is already here because you all failed to realize it when Mazen Namdekan was shouting. I think they said Sharia is only for Muslims. And I get two more messages here. Joseph then says, this is a kind of democracy you people are practicing. Bureaucracy. Wait. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Prince Francis. Would you like to give me a parting shot before we go? Yes.
I think my parting shot is responding to one of your audience who said they're saying rubbish and nonsense, regarding to the sit at home. Whether the federal revenue or whatever you call them collect their taxes on Monday, it is irrelevant. The people that are suffering the sit at home are my Igbo brothers, my Igbo sisters, people who survive daily in Igbo land. They are the ones suffering the sit at home. The government at the top, the state government, is not feeling anything about sit at home. Because at the end of every month, your governors will go to Abuja and collect money. If you like, sit at home Monday to Thursday Monday to Friday, it doesn't disturb them. But we should also ask ourselves, how are the ordinary Igbo men who trade, how are they faring every Monday? Thank you.
Thank you. I think I have got someone here. Let's see if we can listen to him quickly before we wrap up. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Precious.
You're welcome. C2, Abi?
Yes, this is C2.
C2,
Precious.
you're welcome. Go ahead.
And I give my senior brother, Prince Chinaka.
He can hear you.
I greet you, my brother.
Precious.
Sir?
Let me say something quick here. You see, the problem that is just man-made problem. And some pastors will say Nigeria is a problem. They should pray for Nigeria. And saying praying for Nigeria is just deceiving himself. Because there's something man-made. This is deliberately made, okay, from these politicians. It's about to be the book. You know, Donald Trump, the current president of the United States today, was accused of hush puppy money. He was brought to the book. Donald Trump, that is sitting in Oval Office today, was brought. Everybody witnessed it.
Yes.
The one who saying this, that one of the messages you wrote today, that was, bring her to brought this senator down. What is his name, Akpabio?
Yes.
But have you ever investigated what this lady was crying for? And go through to investigate. We still have time. You'll be questioning, you'll be putting somewhere, questioning. With proper questioning. But today, who will question about where is the police in Nigeria? And we question about you. Who? In the same Western world, to go they will do it themselves. But they do something in Nigeria. I want to step outside to be questioning. For what? Say, you have to report and to look into it. That's one minute. You want it to be so that everybody, all the people that is supporting them, this message, they are saving themselves. Now, go to, that's number one, Precious. I hope you're going to give me a little bit of time to speak.
Just hurry up, please, because we're already wrapping up. Go ahead.
Because when things start going bad, people will speak up. Then, that left us today. People Southeast, who are you going to talk when these men are talking, when we are still alive? People like these are Southeast, when Southeast was Southeast. But sorry for our people, as it stands right now, for these politicians you are seeing in the Southeast, anybody that is an Igbo woman that is listening to my voice today, your kids are these Igbo politicians, this president, this one you are seeing now. You see, Southeast minus P2B, and as I see to that, and let me not put straight people aside until I start finding them. Do we investigate my own case until I still finding them? Not to represent them, but then I'll come for them. I don't fear but there's some mistakes my brother Chinaka always said. On certain things here. There's no way we are going to count the without which means you are not being honest. Everybody was from Shole. He said, in one of his interviews, I'm quoting him, that this celebrity after this war that he was developed. And we had this rumor for a long time. We thought it was just a mere talk. But we from many people, they say that no any development in the Southeast. So, well, if you think it's just saying it, you see,
thank you. Thank you, Situ. Thank you, Situ. I appreciate you. Thank you, Princess Chilaka. Would you like a rebuttal? Quickly as we wrap up?
I didn't get all what he was saying.
Okay, so he did mention that, speaking about what you said about blaming mostly Igbo leaders on what's going on in the Southeast. He said that there's no way you can blame only Igbo leaders without also fingering Abuja one way or the other, because Abuja is also culpable in what's going on. That is the power from the center.
No, but see, no, Precious, I have not said I will not blame Abuja. I have not said that. What I have said is that charity begins at home. Let the Igbo leaders in the Southeast, let them start some form of, infrastructure development. Let them start, giving the people hope for democratic governance, for good governance, to provide for the people. When they have done that, then we will now begin to look at the federal government. You can't be pointing at the federal government when you collect money every month and the people are not feeling anything about the money you're collecting. That is my position.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Francis Chilaka. Hopefully, again, we'll see tomorrow evening on this platform. Thank you, and I appreciate you for stopping by. Thank you to everyone who's been on the show. I appreciate you guys a whole lot. It's been a wonderful time. And we'll be doing this daily moving forward from 5:30 p.m. every day. Don't worry, we'll keep the time. 5:30 every day. That's when we'll be doing this. So 5 p.m. basically every day, Monday to Sunday, every day on this channel. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow evening, God willing. Have yourself an amazing evening. God bless you and good night.